Welcome back to A Couple Threads. I'm Heather.
I'm Armand.
Before we dive into today's stories, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for new videos every single Friday. The theme I have today is roommate nightmares.
Nice.
Right. Getting into the first story, coming from r/am I the 1 year old, titled, Am I the for going off on my roommate for trying to treat me like a housewife? I, 22 male, have been living with my roommate. We'll call him Jesus, 23 male, for about a year now. We met while working together at Home Depot and hit it off so well that we decided to move in together. I'm gay and Jesus is straight, and we've always had a great friendship. I'm naturally a tidier person, so I usually end up doing most of the cleaning around the house. Since I get home from work earlier than Jesus, I sometimes cook extra for him, but I never thought much of it. However, things have taken a turn lately. Jesus has started to expect me to always have the house clean and always have a hot meal ready for him when he gets home. When I don't, he gets angry and starts acting like it's my job. I shrugged it off at first, thinking he was just having a bad day, but it kept happening. Things came to a head last weekend. Jesus recently got a girlfriend, and we were all hanging out. Me, my boyfriend, and Jesus' girlfriend. When Jesus came home from work that night and saw that there were a couple dirty dishes in the sink and the house wasn't entirely clean, he went ballistic. Jesus yelled at me, "Why the hell is the house not clean? And why aren't you cooking anything?" I was taken aback. I told him, "We're all just hanging out, and there's only a few dishes. You've got 2 hands. Use them if you care so much." He got even angrier and said, "It's not my job to clean up your mess. You're home all day. You should have done it." I snapped and told him, "First off, I'm not home all day. I work too. Secondly, you've got a girlfriend now, and ask her to cook for you." Jesus' girlfriend looked embarrassed, and my boyfriend was visibly uncomfortable. After that, I said, "I'm not your housewife, Jesus, and I'm not going to let any man that I'm not dating treat me like one. You're a grown man, do your own chores." We argued for over 10 minutes, and Jesus kept insisting that I'm the only one who's usually home first. It's my responsibility to keep the place clean and to cook. I told him he's being stupid and that this arrangement isn't working if he's going to treat me like his personal maid. So, am I the for going off on my roommate for trying to treat me like a housewife?
No, he's not. Um, he basically got Jesus used to the fact of him cleaning and cooking all the time, and obviously now he's starting to expect it every single day. But in the end, no, it's not right. Especially if you two are roommates, it should always be divided. I never had a roommate for these reasons because I'm a naturally tidy person. You know this. I like things specifically the way I like them. So I definitely cannot live with a roommate.
Yeah.
Um, and even living with a significant other, there is a level of understanding where two people can reach. Like, okay, I know he's gonna take care of this, she's gonna take care of
Yeah,
that, and if me or you need help, we're going to ask each other.
for sure.
Roommates are a little bit of a different story because you don't have that comfortability.
Yeah.
Th- these are things that can happen. So he's not an asshole for like defending himself, but he kind of set the bar a little too high, and now Jesus is just expecting it every single
Yeah.
time.
I completely agree. I think he accidentally got into a routine of it. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like, I'm cooking anyway, might as well cook some extra for him. I'm cleaning anyway, might as well just clean up the whole
Yeah.
house. And then the one day you don't do it, the routine is thrown off. And then you're like, well, now what am I
What
supposed
the
to do?
hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall vote on this one is not the
Yeah.
top comment says, "Your roommate sounds entitled. It's time to find a new one." And I agree with that. I don't think any adult man should ever be expecting another adult man to be taking care of him.
No, but also these things should be discussed in the beginning
Yeah,
to avoid stuff like this.
for
Because
sure.
once you set the standard in the beginning, like that's it, it's set. Either they're going to be okay with it or not, and you wouldn't be surprised. So when these conversations don't happen prior to moving in, that's why I've heard so many bad experiences with roommates
I agree.
because there's no conversations beforehand.
Yeah. I feel like in this situation, though, even if they had that conversation beforehand and they both agreed, like, yeah, I'll cook for myself, I'll clean for myself, but then he started doing it for him anyway,
Yeah.
that kind of negates the previous conversation. There's no mention of if they did or not, but if they did, he kind of ruined all of that
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
doing it for him.
Agreed. Yeah.
Next story coming from r/glitch in the matrix, 3 years old, titled I'm Losing My Mind.
Same.
I was never one to believe in paranormal or whatever, but I have no idea what is going on with me right now, and I'm genuinely considering seeking professional help. I live in a really small shared dorm apartment with 2 roommates. There's this hallway that, if you face it, there are 2 bedrooms to your right, 1 bedroom to your left, and a closet at the end of the hallway facing you. The bedroom on the left is right next to the closet. When we moved in, my roommate always complained that they got a closet instead of the bathroom like me and my other roommate had in our rooms. This closet has a bunch of our shared stuff, including my clothes, gifts, keepsakes, whatever. Today, I got back from visiting my parents and I came back to put away some clothes in this closet. But I opened it and I saw a bathroom. A bathroom with a toilet and a shower and everything. I was only gone for 2 days and we rent this place, so it couldn't have randomly been built or something. I told my roommates, but they said it has always been a bathroom and they had no idea what I was talking about. I can't find any of the stuff that I had kept in that closet anymore, even though I know I had tons of memorable keepsakes in that closet. What is going on? I spent all day sulking my room and feeling miserable. I am not crazy, but that bathroom was a closet just 3 days ago. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
They're playing a prank on him. That's weird.
That is weird.
I don't know if I've ever experienced something like that, though. I believe him. It could be something where it actually is a bathroom, and in a weird way, he tricked himself into thinking it was a closet the whole time. Or they're playing a prank on him. But if he remembers putting stuff in that closet, but I wonder where his stuff went then.
Right.
Or he's schizo.
I don't know.
That could be a possibility.
That's a possibility. But still, where's all your stuff?
Where's all yours? Unless he imagined stuff.
Possibly.
Ooh, that's eerie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have a suggestion
No,
on
me
this
neither.
one.
It's
Sure.
kind of just like you can't do anything about it.
I mean, seek help. You might just be losing your mind at that point.
Yeah.
But the 2 roommates are saying it's a bathroom.
Yeah, and they're saying it's always been a bathroom.
I got nothing on this one.
Yeah. My thing is, they're saying, I specifically remember when we moved in, the roommates complaining that it was a closet and not a bathroom like the other 2 that we had.
Right, okay. And now they're saying it's a bathroom.
Yeah, and then it's always been a bathroom.
Maybe it's a glitch. Maybe it's a glitch. I'm not ruling out the fact that it could be a glitch.
Right. I agree. Top comment is, surely there must be some pics of this apartment, right? If not on your phone, then online. Zillow often keeps old pictures. Try and look and see if you're right.
But it's a dorm.
Yeah. But I mean, they still had to, like, go through some type of leasing something that had to have taken
Right.
some type of pictures.
But if I'm not mistaken, and I could be completely wrong, when you're in college and you're getting dorms, it's not like an apartment for rent and you see pictures of it, unless it's like a prestigious college.
Unless it's like an off-campus kind of situation.
Maybe.
But even if it is an on-campus one, the like college itself would have pictures
Right.
for liability purposes.
Or if he's able to see the other dorms, because there's other dorms that have the same exact layout.
True.
What I would do, if it
Just
was
go
me in
there.
this situation, see the other dorms with the same exact layout and see if they have a closet or a bathroom. Unless it's split half and half, and one has a closet, one has a bathroom.
I do have an update.
Okay.
It's a very short, very surprising update.
Okay.
Update was posted about 3 weeks later,
Okay.
and all it says is, I went to the doctor and I have a brain tumor. And that's it. And there's been no other activity at all.
So he was losing it.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. Yeah. Oof. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. If he has a brain tumor, that's going to affect the way you see things.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know too much about this, but I'm just still kind of confused. Does having a brain tumor like cause you to have false memories though?
I bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, surprisingly. I know with tumors, I mean, we experience this like with my family.
Yeah.
Is you either will see things that aren't there, you remember things that
didn't happen.
that didn't happen, you forget things that did happen, or you skew it. Brain's just so complicated where you could easily trick yourself.
That makes
especially
sense.
if you have a tumor or something going on, it's going to affect the way you think regardless. So yeah, that makes complete sense now.
Yeah. Well, at least his roommates weren't playing a prank on him.
I thought it was a prank. I mean, it's a pretty good prank, but that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I wish I had more information.
I mean but that's all kind of answers it.
Yeah. Well, shall we go to our next story?
Yeah.
Okay. Next story is coming from r/2 hot takes, 2 years old, titled, I think my roommate may be poisoning me. I, 25 female, live in Seattle. I just moved here a few months ago from New York City because my dream job was here and I was so excited. I work as a data analyst and I make a very comfortable living. It felt like my life was all finally starting to fall into place. The only thing I needed was a place to live. I took to Facebook because I figured that might be the best place for me to find a roommate. I found this girl, let's call her Kate, 26 female. She seemed perfect. She said that her and her boyfriend, 29 male, were in a 2-bedroom apartment that was very spacious, in a great location, and were looking for someone to rent the extra room. She said she was a 7th grade English teacher, and her boyfriend was a physical therapist. All her interests and hobbies seemed to align perfectly with mine, so I agreed to live with them. I moved in 1 month after initially finding each other, and everything started off great. Kate and I were friendly and having good conversations, and we would interact daily. One day, however, I get home, and she seemed to be in a very bad mood. I asked her about it, and she ignored me and just walked into her room. I didn't think anything of it, but then I receive a text from her that read, I know you want my boyfriend, and that's all she wrote. I was very confused because that was completely untrue. I have been cheated on in the past, and I know how devastating it is, so I would never want to inflict that pain onto someone else. There were more texts exchanged, and everything seemed to be good after a while. But when I saw her in person, she continued to act weird, but I brushed it off. The next day, however, she began to act very nice and sweet, even offering me a smoothie because she knew I was too busy in the mornings to make breakfast. I accepted and went about my day. The smoothies continued every morning, and I thought she was just being nice. Now, I am experiencing some symptoms, and I'm a bit scared. My hair has started to fall out, and my hormones are all over the place. I have developed some weird stomach issues, and I get headaches all the time now. This is all new to me. It may be the move and these changes that are affecting my health, but it doesn't seem to have started until the smoothies did. I don't know how to catch her and see if I'm right, and I don't want to seem rude and stop accepting the smoothies if I'm wrong. I don't know what to do, and I need some advice.
I mean, I always say your first gut feeling is typically
Yeah.
the most accurate one. I mean, screw being rude. If it's legit, you feel like you're getting poisoned, be like, I'm good. I don't want it. I feel like what I would do is set up like a nanny cam
Fair.
somewhere
Yeah.
in a place where you could see her making the smoothie. Or if she's at work, not to be this person, but snoop around and see if there's anything that she's putting in. But the problem is, like, I feel like you wouldn't find like a jar that says poison, you know?
Right.
Like maybe she's putting like bleach or something inside your smoothie. If that is the case that she is trying to poison her. But if she accused her of trying to steal her boyfriend, you know, there's things you can't put past people. People are crazy.
True. Especially when it comes to jealousy over men or comments. Top comment is see a doctor ASAP and
Yeah.
take the smoothie with you so they can hopefully test it.
Yeah.
Some other comments are I'm hoping it's not malicious. I'm hoping it's just a bad blender or something along those lines, like it's not clean. I don't know about all that. But I do also have an update for you. All right. Ready? I want to keep this brief as this experience has been traumatic. I took the advice to go to the hospital and did just that. I went to the hospital the day after posting and brought along the smoothie. They told me that they were unable to test the smoothie at this time, but they did give me a blood test as everything would still show up there. This would also indicate what is happening with my body and why I might be experiencing these symptoms if it's not because of the smoothie. To make a long story short, turns out my roommate was adding some sort of creatine or protein powder into the smoothies because she wanted me to bulk up, so I was no longer seen as desirable to her boyfriend. I told her about what happened at the hospital, and that's when she told me that. That is what's causing my headaches, stomach issues, and potentially the hair loss, because just found out I'm actually allergic to it. So, technically, she was not poisoning me, just trying to make me bulky. This, however, is not the traumatic part. While at the doctor's, when they were giving me the blood test, they also found out I have some other conditions. This news has been really hard for me to deal with. Now, because of my new circumstances, I will be moving back home to be around my family as I go through some treatments. That's it.
So because she took a blood test, they actually found something else?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of
Yeah. I mean, like, at least you went? Question mark?
that's weird how that works out.
Yeah. Something in the
There's
universe was saying, like, you have to go get something checked out.
First of all, addressing the fact that she tried putting protein in her drink to have her bulk up doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, it does not work that way. Just because you drink a protein shake doesn't mean you're gonna just bulk up. So
she'd be less desirable to her man.
But that's kind of crazy. I guess that's just I don't know how to say. I don't want to say like divine miracle or whatever.
Yeah, but it is, because she probably wouldn't have gone to the doctor if
no,
this wasn't happening.
I mean, I haven't been to the doctor in like 10 years.
Too long.
Too long. But yeah, that's kind of crazy though how that works out. I mean, did she thank her?
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like she's moving back to New York City, so you don't have to worry about the jealous anymore. But
I guess.
Yeah.
Putting protein to make her less desirable, that's just nuts.
That's crazy. Because also you're not gonna get like strong in that sense
It
just
doesn't
from
work
like
that way. Unless you're like powerlifting and you're pushing like
right.
3,000 calories a day, fine. But having
Just
like
a
a
protein
scoop of
shake.
protein inside your smoothie isn't gonna bulk you up.
It also was just like a
Wow.
crazy way to find out that you're allergic to like protein powder like
Which
that.
which
Like,
makes sense. Like if you're allergic to gluten or whey,
yeah,
most protein's made of whey. Some people can't
yeah,
process it very well.
it's crazy.
But I'm sure that has to do with the fact that she also had another
The other conditions,
condition.
yeah.
So
Her
it
body
just
is not metabolizing it correctly
yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Moral of the story, don't put anything in
And
anyone's food,
anyways,
whether
but
you're trying to be helpful or not.
in a sense, it worked out because if she didn't do that, she would have never gone to hospital and
True.
find out what's actually going on with her.
Very true.
So
Blessing in disguise, I
blessing in
guess.
disguise. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Next story coming from r/am I the 3 years old, titled Am I the asshole for charging my roommate for brand new bed sheets and mattress after his buddies had sex on my bed and got poop to bleed into the mattress?
Yeah.
I have this roommate. Call him Darian. Darian and I, before this, had a bit of a tense relationship. Darian constantly uses my stuff, disrespects me, leaves dishes out to soak, and etc. Multiple times has drank my expensive alcohol. So already before this event, we weren't on good terms, and I have told him many times as well to respect my belongings. Over the weekend, I was out for a work event, and apparently Darian invited over some of his friends over. He told me before that he might crash for the night. I told him that was fine. Well, when I come back, I notice my sheets are wildly misplaced, and I investigate. When I lift up the sheets, there's a disgusting smell. And I look down, and there are brown stains on my bed sheets and inside my special mattress. I flip out. I take pictures of all the damages. I confront him, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, man. It was some of my friends, and they didn't know." I tell him he needs to pay me. He can get the money from his friends, but this is on him because they were his guests. And if he refuses to, I'll first contact his parents and then I'll go to small claims court. He is saying that he will pay for the bed sheets, but not the mattress, that the stain will clean out, and that the mattress is too expensive for him. The mattress is around $3,500. I told him I do not want to sleep on a shitty mattress, and after
Literally.
and after he pays me, he can have the mattress if he doesn't care. He starts saying that I'm being homophobic and that if a straight couple had sex on my bed, I wouldn't be threatening them with small claims court. I am like, if they pooped on my bed, then yes, I would. For me, it's just gross to think about people sleeping on this bed ever again. And it has a special cooling technology. So if I put a mattress topper on top of it, it completely ruins it. Am I the for expecting reimbursement?
No, I would do the same exact thing. I cannot sleep in that bed.
No.
I don't care, gay, straight. Like I just that's not. It's
Yeah.
tainted bed now.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And it's not a matter of they were being intimate in the bed. It's a matter of there's poop in the bed.
Why even on my bed?
True.
That's my first question. Like boundaries, people.
Yeah. Like just because I said you could spend the night, I never said you could canoodle in my
Is
bed.
Darian a roommate or
Yes.
okay? So his friends spent the night,
Yes.
as so he claims.
Yes. He's claiming it wasn't him. He's claiming it was his friends.
It doesn't matter though. You're still associated.
Yeah. And you're the
Wasn't
one that
my
invited him over.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say like you could do small claims court, especially if like the mattress is like $3,500.
Yeah.
Like if it was like a $500 mattress or $1,000 mattress, it's like okay, now it's a hassle.
Right.
But if it's like over $3,000,
Yeah.
then yeah, you could do a small claims court because I think
agree.
small claims court are like above 500.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew,
I know.
that's gross. No, yeah, he's not being an. He has
No.
every right to seek
Yeah.
reimbursement.
I agree. And also like coming home from a trip and like the when I'm on a trip and I'm coming home, I just can't wait for my bed, you
No.
know? And then you come home so excited for your bed,
And there's
find that.
stains.
Oh my gosh.
That's so
And
gross. That's disgusting.
then Darian being like, well, I'll pay for new sheets. I'm not worried about $20
Yeah.
sheets.
Screw the sheets then. Pay for the
Yeah.
mattress.
Yeah.
Ew.
Let's see. Overall vote on this one is definitely not the um top comment is the issue is not being gay. The issue is there's poop in your bed. Sounds like you need to find a new roommate. And I agree with that because if he's not gonna understand like how serious this is and like why he should be reimbursing you, then you are better off finding someone else to live with.
I wonder if that falls under like destruction of property.
I feel like it would, especially if it's a $3,500 mattress.
And regardless of like the amount, but in the end, to me, that sounds like it's destruction of property.
Yeah,
That's gross.
I know. I don't like that. Let's just move on to our next story. This one is coming from r/am I 2 years old, titled, Am I the for refusing to buy my roommate new meals after my cats knocked them off the counter?
Yes.
My 23 female roommate, Rose, 24 female, meal preps for her entire week of lunches and dinners. She always waits till late Sunday night to do all the cooking, so often she'll leave the containers to cool on the counter overnight because it's too hot to put in the fridge right away before she goes to bed. 2 months ago, I moved my 2 cats into the apartment. Now, in my household, I don't allow them on the counters, but if there is food left open, they will try to get into it. I explained that she should be aware of the cats and that they might try to eat her food or might knock it over if she leaves it out all night. But she brushed me off saying, it's fine. I told her that it was only a matter of time before it happened. Well, it finally happened. I woke up Monday morning to the kitchen in a complete mess because the cats had knocked over several containers onto the floor. I cleaned up and put the rest of the food that was still okay into the fridge. Overall, out of 7 lunches and 7 dinners, about half was ruined. When Rose got up, I explained what happened and apologized. She flipped out on me because she can't afford to buy more food for the week. Rose demanded that I buy her more food because it was my animals that caused this, but I also can't afford to buy her more meals out of my own food budget. I told her I wouldn't be replacing anything because she was being irresponsible with her own food by leaving it out, and I had already warned her that this might happen. She's still furious with me, and some of my friends have said that I'm obligated to replace her food since it was my cats that did the damage.
Freaking cats. That's why we don't let them on the counter. You know, in the end, like, she told her, like, hey, Mike, like, both are in the wrong on this one, in my opinion. She told her, hey, if you leave your food out, my cats will either eat it or knock it over. But on the flip side, on top of her brushing that off, she agreed to have her move in knowing she has 2 cats. So it's like both are setting up themselves up for failure. In regards to the reimbursement, I don't know on this one. I don't know if
I don't know either.
She should pay for it because she told her don't leave it out. The cats will knock it over. She completely can't control the cats. Trust me. We've tried to a certain level. But in the end, like, it is her cats that knocked it over.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a
gray area for sure.
Yeah, both are at a loss.
Yeah.
If I were to have to really pick, I say she should reimburse her.
Yeah. But I feel like she should just to be like out of the kindness of her heart, not because like she has to, but like, hey, like that was my cat's, like But she also said she can't afford it. So I don't
Well,
know.
that's the main part of this is like they're not being petty because they can afford it and they want to see who's right.
Right. They're both
Seem
broke.
broke.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, if I were to pick one, she should reimburse her, but also be like, this can happen, so don't do it again. Because if it happens again, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I have a question though, not about who should be reimbursing who. Why are we leaving meal prepped food out overnight?
Yes.
I understand because I'm the same way. I don't put it in the fridge if it's hot, but I
Right.
leave it out for 30 minutes to an hour maximum.
Yes. Because after 4 hours, it'll start to get bacteria. So
Right. So why are we?
that
why are
tripped
we
me out.
doing that?
I didn't want to cut you off during your story, but that tripped me out. The fact that she said she doesn't want to put it away before she goes to bed.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
that means she would put it away in the morning after she wakes up. Yeah, that's kind of gross. That threw me off too.
Like, unless it's literally just like, no, I don't even know. I can't think of any food that you could meal prep that would be counter safe overnight.
Going from hot to cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said,
Unless it's rice. Even then,
even pasta, if you leave it out after a certain amount of hours, it will naturally gain bacteria. It should be like, even if it's piping hot, like whenever we cook, we'll wait like 30 minutes to an hour, and then the leftovers we put in the fridge.
Right.
That tripped me out too.
Should be her main concern. I think
Agreed.
If you're worried about 1, the cats, and 2, your health, maybe you should just stay up an extra hour or start cooking an hour earlier so you can put them away before you go to bed.
Or she just doesn't know
all the issues.
She probably just doesn't know. It's like, oh, it's cold in the morning, so it's fine.
My stomach issues would know. I'd be like, why am I feeling sick all the time?
All the time. Yeah, that did throw me off. Yeah.
Overall vote on this one though is
okay. Yes.
Top comment is, keep your cats in your room on Sunday nights. They are animals. You are the human. Therefore, you are responsible. And I agree with that to a certain extent, especially like it sounds like the roommate was there prior. You're bringing your cats into her home kind of situation. So just keep them in.
She also knew that though. But yes. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the end
if that's her routine, just keep them away for the whole night, or if she stops leaving them out overnight, the couple hours that she's making them. And
but also, why are the cats roaming about overnight too?
I mean, this guy just roams wherever he wants to go overnight.
I guess, but we're not roommates. And he listens to me. He doesn't go on the counters.
No, but I mean, we also don't just like keep him in the bedroom overnight either. So
I feel like if I were to have a cat and I had roommates, I would keep the cat inside of my room when I'm not home.
Yeah, unless
or
like
sleeping.
they also have cats, or like there's a mutual agreement of like,
sure,
we like this cat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I have one more story for us today. Coming from r/am I the 3 months old. Titled, Am I the for putting my roommate's spoiled mayo, cheese, and ham in his room? So for some context, I'm going into my 2nd semester in my 4-bedroom apartment. I had 4 roommates, but 2 moved out when the 2nd semester started, and 1 additional roommate moved in. It hasn't been verified, but this guy is clearly autistic. But so was the roommate he replaced, and we never had any issues with him. Anyways, I deep cleaned the main areas before he moved in, and within a week, it was trash. Milk was constantly being left out, and he was taking dirty dishes out of the sink and spreading them across the counter spaces. On top of that, he refused to talk or even look at us. Me and my other roommate got tired of this, and we warned him if he keeps leaving all his stuff out, we were just going to start putting all of his stuff in his room for him to deal with. For the most part, things got better, but he was still leaving stuff out a lot. It was usually taken care of by the end of the day. But one day, I noticed an open jar of mayo, an open pack of cheese, and an open pack of ham. We don't share stuff like that, so I just shrugged it off because I was in a rush to go to my girlfriend's place. I actually messaged him about it and said he needed to put it up, and if he didn't, he was going to get sick. Well, going into the third day, it was still there. And he wasn't. And his door was wide open. So I closed the items, put them on his desk, and walked out. 3 days later, he comes to me and says, "Did you go in my room and put this stuff here?" My room is a barrier that I want to be respected. This is the first time I've heard him say this, and I did feel bad for doing it, but to my knowledge, we were all on the same page. One random additional story I have of him that's kind of in the same topic. He half cooked a chicken, turned off the pan, and went to class. He just left the chicken, half cooked. I don't know, thought that one was important to add.
This is why I can't have roommates. I would lose my mind if that were to happen. Number one, regarding the boundaries, in the end, your communal space is also a boundary to be
Yeah.
respected upon other people. No, he's not. I probably would have done the same thing if they told him to cut it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. They gave him a warning.
Yeah, and like he kept persisting, then
I get being forgetful, but there's a point where, like,
is that even forgetful at that point? Like, how do you forget cooking a piece of chicken and then going to class? It's a different level.
Yeah.
It's not forgetful. It's just irresponsible.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's not, actually, I don't know. I was going to say it's not like it's something that is not perishable or whatever, but even then, there's an issue of bugs, you know? Like, if you're living in a communal space and there's open food just out for days at a time, you don't want bugs, especially if it's not your things, you know?
Sometimes we get bugs for no reason, and we have like no
And
food
we're
out.
clean.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine leaving food out and the amount of bugs you would get?
No.
Gross. Nah.
No.
I think it was a valid response, in my opinion.
I think so.
Yeah.
And they were nice enough to even close it before they put it in the room.
Fair.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I would have left
Leave
it
it out.
wide open.
Put some cheese under the mattress.
Yeah. That'll
Just
teach them.
Shove cheese in like random crevices.
Overall vote on this one is not the
Yeah.
top comment is, even if he is autistic, autism doesn't give you the right to be inconsiderate, selfish, or unsanitary. Yeah.
Doesn't give you a right, but
I understand. But it's also like, he texted him too. So you can't even use the excuse of, oh, I completely forgot. Like, he texted him, hey, you left this out. Please put it away.
fair.
You know what I mean?
Fair. But it's like, it's kind of rude they're calling him autistic when they don't even know he's actually autistic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping for everyone's case that, you know, he actually is and they're not just being mean.
Yeah.
But regardless, whether he is or isn't, don't do that.
Yeah. Rude.
Yeah. Especially when you share a space with other people.
That's why I can't have roommates ever. Ever.
Well, hopefully I'll have a good one.
Yeah, you are. I'll rather live in like a 300 square foot apartment by myself than have a roommate.
Fair.
I still be clean.
Valid.
Yeah.
That is all I have for us today.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. There's new episodes every Friday. And of course, like and comment your take down below.
We'd love to hear your personal roommate stories as well.